Hi, it's Caitlin from Positive Vibes Life Coaching, and today I want to talk to you about the importance of sleep and also give you some suggestions for good sleep health. Now, we all know, we've been told how important sleep is, but truly, sleep is when your mind gets a chance to reset itself. Your mind gets a chance to clear itself as well. You can forget about yesterday's problems and start new. You can wake up to a brand new day. There's nothing saying you can't wake up to the greatest day you've had in a while. Every day is a new chance for a great start. So, with that being said, getting a good night's sleep is very important. Now, the amount of sleep we get is very important as well. Getting too little sleep, obviously we know what that's like. You're tired the whole next day, you can't really focus, can't concentrate, you just physically can't do as well with mindfulness if you don't get a good night's sleep. And that's to be expected. You'll struggle with your daily tasks even because your mind didn't get its time to take a break, to recharge. Your body, mind, it's like a battery. You gotta charge it with your sleep. But that's just about too little sleep. Too much sleep can be a bad thing too. Getting too much sleep can make you groggy. The next day you can be, a little bit grumpy as well. It might even affect your productivity too. And it also can undo your sleep schedule, which would be unfortunate. So, we always have to remember, it's all about finding the right balance. They say 7 to 8 hours for a young adult, and obviously that number is different for children and people who are older. But I like to say an average of 8 or 9 hours. Now, obviously, little kids need more than that. This video doesn't quite apply to small children, the suggestions I'm going to give, but everybody else can benefit from this. So we do have to remember, it's all about finding that balance. Too much sleep and too little sleep can both be harmful to you. So those are always great things to keep in mind. Now, I'm going to start with some suggestions for good sleep. So, number 1, sleep as much as you need, not as much as you want. Now, we can all struggle with that. Sometimes it's just because we're so cozy we don't want to get out of bed. Other times it's because, if there's anyone out there suffering from depression, sometimes it can be a struggle to get up in the morning and get out of bed and get your day started. But sleeping only as much as you need can really help you have healthy sleep habits and then help your day-to-day life as well because of the benefits of those good habits. So even though you might want to sleep all day, it's not always a good idea. Now, number 2 would be try to limit your in-bed activities. Like, try watching TV in the living room instead of sitting in your bed and watching TV. You want your brain to associate your bed with sleep and not awake and alert activities. So try to avoid eating in your bed. I'm not saying your bedroom. You can stay in your bedroom if you would like a healthy amount. But I'm saying your physical bed. They've done studies that people who use their bed only for sleeping actually fall asleep easier because their brain associates it with it's time for sleep. Now, this one I'm still working on personally, but that also includes things like social media, playing games. You should try to do that outside of your bed. Not always easy to do, but it is true. And going off of that as well, you should try to limit your screen time before bed. The light alone from your screen can stimulate your brain and wake you up, making it harder for you to fall asleep. So You can try to get whatever you need to do on your computer, your TV shows you need to watch, and your social media, and any messages you need to reply to. You can try to get that done before it's bedtime. Give yourself a little break in between. Do something that doesn't involve light, like maybe reading, drawing, do your daily journaling before bed. All those things can help you stay away from those stimulating lights that come from your screens. Another important suggestion is to have a sleep schedule. Now, I know that's not easy and not every day can be the same, but for example, I try to start getting into my pajamas at least at about 10 p.m. That way I can have that time to kind of calm down. That way my brain knows it's time to get into sleep mode. I can use from 10 to 11 to do all of my activities I feel the need to do on my iPad. Play my games, do my daily puzzles, do whatever I have planned. And then that way I have a calm down period. Now, even I'll admit I'm still working on the waking up at the same time every day, but they've done studies that show if you have a sleep schedule and you go to sleep at the same time or relatively the same time every night and you wake up at the same time, it'll become a habit in your brain. It'll become part of your natural cycle, making it easier to fall asleep and to wake up on time. People who don't have a sleep schedule might suffer from problems like, snoozing your alarm, oversleeping, or even just sleeping past a reasonable time. And that's very common, but fixable. So, to piggyback off of that suggestion, also a part of the sleep schedule is try to avoid taking naps. Now, we all know when we're little, naps are important, but as you grow up, what it can do is confuse your internal clock. And so then when it actually is time to go to bed, your brain will be thinking, well, I haven't been awake for long enough. So it's important to try to avoid taking naps. If it's very necessary, try to stick to a 30-minute nap. We go through a sleep cycle within 30 to 45 minutes, so you don't need to take a nap that's any longer than that. It's kind of hard if you're someone who takes a while to fall asleep to be able to schedule that out. So my main piece of advice is just try to avoid naps unless you're someone who can fall asleep very quickly. I am not, but some people are. And I suppose that would be okay. But studies have shown that naps can throw off your internal clock. Another great suggestion is keep clocks out of sight. As humans, we have a tendency to check the time. The whole, if I fall asleep right now, I can get however many hours and however many minutes of sleep. Well, that actually is causing you to stay awake and do that math instead of being asleep. So, you can check the time, make sure your alarms are set, but then put that clock out of view. Whether that means turning it so that you can't see it from your bed, or if it's on your phone, just face down. Either way, it saves you from checking the time if you're someone who struggles to fall asleep. Don't go to bed hungry. Make sure you have your dinner, and if you're someone who does get hungry around dinner time, such as myself, have a bedtime snack already picked out and prepared. I like things such as a yogurt. Things with dairy actually help stimulate the melatonin in your brain, or if you take a melatonin supplement, it helps it engage faster. So try having a small dairy snack before bed. It truly can help you fall asleep. It's very important. Do not try to fall asleep, because if we try, we end up laying there thinking, I should be asleep, instead of actually being asleep. So one suggestion that I was told was never try to fall asleep. And honestly, it truly helps, because think back to the days of school. You're laying there like, oh my god, I need to be asleep, I should be asleep, just try to fall asleep. Doesn't work. It didn't work back then, and I highly doubt it's going to work now. So just to be real with everybody, don't try to fall asleep, or you might find yourself focusing more on the trying to fall asleep than the actual sleeping itself. Just a few more tips for you. One is comforting smells. things such as lavender can help you fall asleep very well. Now, whether it's an oil diffuser you use, or a candle, or incense, or you can even put a little bit of a soothing smell on your pillowcase or near where you sleep. It can calm your body and actually help you get a more restful night's sleep once you do fall asleep. Now, another suggestion I have is exercise. Get out that energy from the day before bed, but not any, it doesn't have to be intense exercise. It can be something like stretching, just stretching calmly, or yoga or something like that to get your body in a more calm state. I am not big on yoga, but I do stretch. So I'll do some stretches before bed because I can kind of incorporate that mindfulness into my stretching the same way people do with yoga. And it gives your brain that opportunity to calm down, slow down, and not be so hyped up anymore from the energy of the day. And then also, 2 last things. 1, don't take your problems with you to bed. I know that's a lot easier said than done, but tomorrow is a new day. You don't have to focus on it before bed. You don't have to solve your problems before bed. If it couldn't be solved before it's time to go to sleep, that's it. You can write it down, make a note for tomorrow, and work on it tomorrow. It doesn't have to be solved right then. Sometimes it's hard to shut that part off, but if you practice it mindfully and you practice just telling yourself this is a tomorrow problem at the end of the night, it truly can help. Along with that, don't think too much about your tomorrow plans. One thing that can really help is write out anything you're thinking in your head, like, oh, I can't forget to do this, I can't forget to do this. Just write them down. Write them down before you go to bed. Also, that would be another activity that would take your eyes off of a screen and give you that chance to do a calming activity that is not visually too stimulating. So, maybe just write out all those things that you're trying not to forget so that you aren't laying there making lists in your head when you're trying to sleep. Now, I know that some of those sound cheesy, but those are my suggestions for how to get a good night's sleep. I know that's easier said than done, especially if you have insomnia like I do. But I hope those suggestions help out, and I hope everybody is able to get at least a little something out of this video. And thank you so much for watching. If this piqued your interest at all, feel free to contact me. Feel free to visit my Facebook page, send me an email, however you would like, and I would love to discuss this further with you or work with you as your coach. And thank you, and enjoy the rest of your day, and get a good night's sleep tonight.